Hey guys, we're taking you on a milk run of the southeast corner of Michigan all the way up to Tawas. Just all the great bites that are going on. Before we get started, we're here at Lakeside Marine and Power Sports in Mecosta. This Saturday, monster show going on. Great deals on pontoons, fishing boats, everything you need to get your season started right. Get down there for Saturday's big bash. They're going to have special financing deals. They've got blowout prices on any 2022s left over, as well as some awesome pricing on 2023 models and good selection. Not everybody has good selection. Lakeside's got great selection right now. So let's talk about 4 bites. We're going from Monroe to the Detroit River to Saginaw Bay to Tawas, Michigan, and we're going to do it quick because stuff's happening in all of those locations. We'll start at the north. Mikey Parnicki and John Borowy both are whacking fish out of the port of Tawas, Michigan, whether they're casting or trolling, and you can do both right now, very similar to the report I talked on Tuesday about, whether you're throwing jigs or throwing ripping glides or ripping wraps. Those 3 are working really good right now for shallow water, structure-orientated fish between Tawas and Point au Gres. You'll have a lot of migration and movement going on right now in that 10 to 25 foot depth of water. Wherever you find gravel humps or points connected to deep water, those are great places to cast for those walleyes. You're going to get bonus lake trout mixed in as well. And Mikey and John both have been trolling with lots of success right out of the port of Tawas. Lots of nice fish are occurring. And so you know what? You got to give those guys a call. Mikey from Real Operator Guide Service. John Borowy, to be honest, John, I'm sorry. I'm going to put a banner up during this because I forgot your phone number while I was talking because it's on my phone and I don't memorize everything. Both those guys can get you out on the water and have great success. Now, if you're sliding down to Saginaw Bay, there's a really good bite going on, shallow water bite going on right now, right out of Linwood Beach Marina, both to the north and to the south and out towards the mouth of the river. A lot of the fish now are finishing up spawning and they're pouring out of the Saginaw River back into the bay, filling up the shallows. That bite is happening from like 8 to 20 feet. A lot of crankbaits that had been bigger are now going to start getting downsized because we had this cold snap and then we're going to go back into warm weather. And I think that's going to transition a lot of these fish into smaller baits like number 5 boogie shads, a Walleye Nation creation bait. Also flicker minnows, number 9s and number 11s are going to work good here for the next month. You're going to be targeting, just pods of active moving fish that are post-spawn. If you're looking for a great place to launch, obviously Linwood Beach Marine and Campground, they've got a really great launch ramp right there. They've got on the water gas. They got a ship store with all the live bait you need. Jason Graham from Send It Charters is based right there out of it. He runs a great charter business. If you're looking to get out on the water and kind of learn how to fish early season, Jason is an awesome resource for that to get your group out in the boat. And while you're catching fish, you can kind of observe how Jason does it and how he puts these fish in the boat. And that way, when you buy your boat and you get out on the water yourself, you'll kind of know what you're doing. So that's happening right now, and that's going to happen for the next month, guys. It's going to be stupid. Now, if you head south, what's really stupid right now is the fishing on the Detroit River. So we got several guides. Captain Nick Dode from Real Live Action Sport Fishing. We've got a Relentless Grind Guide Service, Captain Michael from there. He's been on the water every day. I know Brian Beist and some other guys, To Be Caught Charters, has been out on the water as well. I know Dan from Blue Line Charters, who guides both the Detroit River, Monroe, and over in Port Clinton, Ohio, has just been whacking fish. Great job, Dan. And that's Blue Line Charters. All of these guys tell me the same thing. The bite in the Detroit River is absolutely on fire. This is the best bite of the year. It should last for a few weeks for sure. What's working? Basically anything, any depth, if you know how to simply jig properly. And what is jigging properly? I always use a heavier jig than a lot of people might think. I mean, even though I'm an experienced fisherman, a 3/4 on a non-windy day, or on a windy day, a 1-ounce jig. I'm using plastics. I'm using contrasting colored plastics. On dark days, I'm going to use or deep water jigging, I'm going to use purples, and a combination of purples and sparkly silvers, like you know, a purple with a clear bottom with sparkles in it, or a red, or a black. That's called ice, black ice, purple ice, those types of colors that offer contrast and help the fish hone in on the bait. A stinger is very important. Always use a stinger, and always make sure you're jigging in a very controlled method, meaning you're almost always touching bottom, coming up 3, 4, 5 inches at the most, and then dropping it back down. Just a nice, slow, methodical jig. You don't have to sit and rip it like this. That's not necessarily good. Even the fish see your presentation coming, it's in current, so they just come and slide over one way or the other and intercept it. And if you've got too much movement, it actually makes it harder on the fish to get your bait. So keep that jigging method, you know, kind of in a range about that much, and just real methodical. You'll feel the tick if you're using braided line, and you should be using braided line. 5.5 to 6 foot medium heavy rod, that's really important. You don't want too light of a rod. You're dealing with a heavy jig and braid. You want to have a backbone rod. You also don't want the tip too far away from you. You want a shorter rod that just gives you more control while you're jigging, and also while you're fighting those fish in close to the boat. So Detroit River's on fire all over the place. If you're a caster, you can cast them up on the shoals and catch fish that are up there spawning right now. Let's slide down to Monroe. Monroe, Bulls Harbor, Sterling State Park, they're all going now. Bulls Harbor had been a little slower than Sterling early, but now it seems like I'm seeing lots of reports coming out. The fishing had been shallow for us. For those of you who watched last week's short show on Wednesday, you know, we crushed them. 44 fish in 4 hours, running 10 to 20 back behind our boards. I have a feeling now these fish are going to be post-spawn, and I'm seeing a lot more reports of guys going more 25 to 50 back, which means those fish post-spawn have started to slide away from the shorelines just a little bit, and also slide down in the column. So it doesn't mean in certain circumstances, like I'm almost always guilty of doing, running one out there 15 foot behind the board, you know, to make sure that I'm not missing a high bite. Actually, I run that 15-footer right next to the boat, and I run my longest leads on the outside. Sorry about that, guys. But I'm always going to explore that upper sector, especially on sunny days later in the day. As those fish get active, a lot of times fish will move up in the column a little bit to follow the bait, which is usually pressed up to the surface of the water this time of year. But set an exploratory spread out, meaning, you know, if you're running reapers or whatever you're running, you know, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, and then maybe that inside rod at 20 or something like that, or 25, just to keep the high fish honest. And, you know, if you do that on both sides, it's going to be pretty hard for you to miss the bite. So that's what's going on right now at Lake Erie. What's going on this weekend is the Lakeside Marine and Power Sports, baby, and they have got deals galore on all kinds of pontoons and fishing boats. This weekend's not going to be that nice. You might as well come inside. You might as well get a great deal on a great boat. And you know what? Next week will be a new week, and you'll feel better about the fact that you've got your new boat ordered and coming, or being rigged if they have it in stock, and you'll be out on the water yourself in your new rig. So we'll see you next week on the Video Fishing Reports. Thanks for joining us here today, and see you at Lakeside this weekend.
Wave Pro high-performance boat pedestals eliminate bottoming out and back-jarring impacts. Now available the 2.0 version and slider seat hubs. The best in air shock technology provides a controlled return to keep you on your seat. Fast and easy to install with permanent mounts or movable hubs for quick and easy seat placement in 10 to 16-inch models. Wave Pro high-performance boat pedestals, best ride on the water. Online at waveproshock.com.